Hi, welcome back to Wild Speculations. I'm Daniel.
I'm Scott.
This week we talk about episode 44, The Diver's Grave.
Yes.
I don't normally tweet about the show, especially when it's happening.
Yeah.
I did this week because I was so excited. Because Marrow and Ghost and Hags.
Yeah.
Matt on Twitter said that it was a special hag that he homebrewed.
Yeah.
For the encounter. To make it CR appropriate, basically.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I was excited by that.
That was good. I was sad. I was wrong. There was no Ashley.
Yeah.
And I did preface my wild speculation with this is more like what the heart wants than...
It's true.
But I was really hoping.
Yeah. There was a lot of action this episode. Some role-playing moments. Not a whole lot of new information to
Before we...
sink our teeth in.
Not really new information, but I think there were some tells.
Yeah.
But before we jump into the episode, let's talk about the new intro.
Okay.
Because there was two things that I noticed in the new intro that I thought that caught my eye, that were interesting. Okay. So first off, great animation, great. It was great. I love it. It's just another nail in the coffin that there needs to be an anime for Critical Role.
Yeah.
Anyway, first thing is it makes a very, very well, I don't know if profound's the right word, but strong statement about how different Caduceus is from the rest of the team. You see everybody engaging in all this action and enjoying it and, you know, all these evil things everywhere. You see Caduceus turn undead with a frown on his face and then stand peacefully drinking tea is what you see Caduceus doing.
Yeah.
And I saw online and I thought it was great and I thought you'd enjoy it. But comparing Caduceus to Uncle Ira in Avatar.
Yeah.
But I you know, not that that's new information or surprising, but just the pointing out of how separate he is, his demeanor and everything from the rest of the group, I thought was really well done. And I want to, point that out. Because it does strike you as like he's the odd one out. He's the outlier in the group.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of the new intro is the kid to adult jump that happens.
With Jester?
Yeah.
Which is the other thing I wanted to bring up.
Okay. Okay. Because there's some specific things that are in that.
Yeah. So if you notice when she's a kid, she's in her room and she's got all these bright, colorful drawings of her and the Traveler and Mom, and there's this one black, menacing-looking figure right on the wall. It's right by where her knees are, right there, and the book kind of goes over it, and then there's that one just dark, malevolent picture and all this cheeriness. And it was almost like, are they kind of hinting at something there? Are they like...
I think so. Well, and also the fact that it's the Traveler's hand that's in the book.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But that one just like, and it's almost center screen, but like her knee and the book keep getting in the way of it, so you don't super notice it unless you catch it and then go back and look for it.
Yeah.
But that's the one that I was like, that's giving away something.
It took 44 episodes to get this new intro.
Yes. Well, what? It was 60 something before they had an intro with the characters. 70?
No, it wasn't that many.
Was it? I thought it was.
No.
The one where they were all cosplayed up?
No, I think that was also in the 40s.
Okay.
But no, so the thought that I had was we're a third of the way through.
Okay.
Which, based on their level and whatnot, is about right.
Yeah.
So I expect we will get another new intro around the 80 or 90 mark.
Okay.
Which will take us through to the end. And we'll see some of their exploits from the mid-tier in that video. I don't think we'll have a death that will be permanent the way Molly's was. I also like that Molly's in the video.
Yeah.
So, yeah. With the episode.
Yes.
They get down, they get to the ship.
And it is the ship.
Yes. It's been tossed.
Mm-hmm.
Vanden's place has been tossed. And then we have the Marrow.
Yes.
Attack. And they basically go after Caleb.
Yeah.
When I was watching it the first time, I didn't understand why.
Okay.
I just thought Matt was being mean.
Okay.
But it does make sense because Caleb isn't wearing armor. Caleb isn't wielding a weapon. From a hunter-prey perspective, he's the weak one of the herd.
Okay. That's... okay.
So... And they try to get away with him, too.
Yeah. I kind of thought, like... And I know they were dancing lights, but he was the one that summoned those.
Yes.
And which is what attracted them.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if they somehow were able to tell, you know, like if they were floating around him.
Well, that's the other thing. Not in armor, no obvious weapons.
And
there's magic. He's the wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think they got a little... Nervous isn't the right word, but they didn't seem to want to move on from the ship until Jester cast Locate Object again.
Yeah.
And then it was, no, let's go.
I don't know if they were nervous so much as expecting there to be something there.
Which is the opposite of what we expected.
Right.
I can buy that. We didn't see Vandrin's ghost.
No.
We speculated that might be a possibility. And Travis certainly thought that when they were in the show's lair.
Yeah. Do I recognize him?
Yeah.
Do I recognize him?
Yeah. Do you think... Because I was kind of, like, as the episode was going on, I was trying to do the math. And Matt was unclear as to how much distance they had covered.
Right.
While they were down there. But he did point out, you guys are at half speed, and if you're moving stealthy, you're moving half that.
Yeah.
Which means they would have been moving essentially 5 feet a second, 60 feet a minute.
Yeah.
If they're going a quarter mile, that's...
Yeah. And
20 or 30 minutes.
I think that got time lapsed for the sake of play.
Yes. Oh, for sure. But just the concentrating on locate object and stuff like that, taking it in that direction.
Yeah.
I thought his description of the entrance was perfect.
Yeah.
And the light. And despite them knowing, despite all of that, and despite the conflict with the marrow just before, where Matt said they were drawn to the light. They were drawn to the light.
Like moths to a flame.
Yep. So yeah, that to me, I laugh at that part because it's like, what's going on? Also, great for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
The dice helped tremendously in upping the tension and the fear factor because they couldn't even rely on Caduceus's perception skill.
Yep.
Because even his perception rolls
were bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like it was, in a lot of ways, it was the perfect horror episode.
Okay.
Because, like Matt had described it, it's dark. You only have your little light sources. But even with that, they still didn't know what was out there.
Yeah.
Which is always the knob to turn for horror, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
If you're going for an environment. But with the honeypot, as Jester called it, Bo. Ford was probably the biggest asshole he's ever been in this episode.
Yeah, he was. And so my takeaway on Ford was provoke and consume. 2 of his keywords. And this is something he emphasized in this episode, but he's been doing the entire campaign.
Yeah.
You know, he seems like a nice guy, and yes, I'm going back on my trope that he's evil, but he seems like a nice guy. He seems friendly. He seems like he's trying to encourage them to grow by, but is he? Or is he just like, this might be, you go up and do this one.
Is he devolving into basically just a shit stirrer and that's it?
And,
yeah.
Oh, wait, there's power to be had? Oh, this is, let me jump in there. You know how he jumped right in that cave entrance,
Yeah.
Because there was power to, the consume, the greed.
Well,
manipulation and greed has been Ford's thing, but he's been disguised. He is neutral evil disguised as chaotic good. That is the best way to describe Ford, in my opinion.
I'm not going to go that far. But I think part of why Ford just jumped down there was Travis getting impatient and getting fed up with them tiptoeing around the thing. It's like, I think Travis, of all of them, is, hey, we're here to play D&D. We're going to kick down doors and kill shit. That's what's required in this instance, so that's what we're going to do.
To a degree, yes. I think Travis is doing an amazing job playing Ford's mental stats.
Yeah.
Slightly better than average intelligence. Really good charisma. Shit wisdom.
Yeah.
Which is the perfect storm for neutral evil disguised as chaotic good.
Well,
he knows just enough to know what he wants and how to talk to people. He's good at talking to people, and he's just short-sighted enough to not worry about consequences.
Yeah. Or the effect that his words might have on his companions.
Yeah.
because
he is just as ready to manipulate them as he is anybody else, and even more so.
Well, and Knot was calling him out for the manipulation.
Well, Bo called him out because he was going to get drunk, not killed.
Well, that leans more into the assholeish, but I mean, like...
But I think that was more Travis just messing with Sam. That instance.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't necessarily think that's the case, because that was after he made the comment about Knot's appearance. And she's like, no, he's right, I'm hideous.
Yeah.
And I shudder to think what his Twitter was like that night after that comment. But
yeah,
that's probably the meanest thing that he's done to any of them.
Yeah. Especially that was just pure mean.
Yeah.
That wasn't manipulation mean.
Yeah, or confrontational with Caleb and the scrolls. So yeah. I think that's a conflict that's gonna begin rising to the fore, I think.
Yeah.
As we continue. So the other example that this episode was a good example of is knowing your players.
Yeah.
Because the way Matt was describing everything, Travis was basically triggered as they were going into Desheila's lair. Like, everything was, he was like, don't do this to me, man!
Yeah.
And because they know how he is in haunted houses. And Matt was doing everything he could to make that seem like a haunted house. Everything's sort of moving in and closing in. And you see just this figure there, and then it melts into the wall.
Yep. And there's just this, pretty kill. And now you suck.
Yeah. So, speaking of Desheila's lair.
Yes.
I wanted to talk a little bit about the construction of that encounter.
Okay.
You have the environmental danger of the kelp.
Mm-hmm.
And then Matt had two allied monsters in there, being the ghosts, or specters, but I'm pretty sure they were just ghosts.
Yeah.
One of which tried to did possess Bo.
Yes.
But Caduceus turned undead and forced the possession out.
And in that moment, and it may just be me, but when Bo turned, and that seemed, and I'm not sure if it was Marisha knowing how fucked up ghosts can be, or if it was Bo freaking out because she's always felt controlled and powerless in her backstory, and
I think it's both.
rebelling against that, and this happened.
I think it's both.
But she was very grateful, more so than you would expect Bo to be. It was almost a dropping of her guard with just, and I'm going with like the facial expression, the thank you, man,
I don't know if it's more grateful than I would expect her to be. Well,
I think it was a dropping of her.
I think she was more vulnerable
facade.
in that moment. Yeah, for sure.
Which is why I'm saying more genuine, more grateful.
Okay. But yeah, that was a big moment, I think.
Yeah.
Bo hasn't been on the receiving end of clutch heels the way Caleb has from Caduceus.
Right.
She hasn't been on the receiving end very much of his buff spells.
Yeah. Not lately.
She has benefited from his debuffs.
Yes.
But Yeah, I think that moment is the most grateful that Bo has been.
Yeah.
To anyone. Yeah, for sure. And then he had the Sheila.
Mm-hmm.
3 different layer actions. We got to see all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And her legendary actions. The move legendary action without provoking an attack of opportunity is might be one that's underestimated.
Yeah.
And it's not one that I usually think about doing.
Okay.
Because usually layer actions are designed to up the monster's damage in the encounter.
Right.
They're there to balance out the action economy.
Either up the damage or, you know.
But this time, they ensured that she got away and survived.
Yeah.
Which is going to have continuing repercussions on the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it will be interesting to see if they go back.
Yeah.
And I wonder if the future was harmed because Ashley wasn't there. And what I mean by that is, the last time they came across an evil artifact, Yasha fixed the problem permanently.
Yeah.
With the magician's judge. She cleaved the, I was going to say Takesis, the Tiamat bowl.
Same thing.
True. Cleaved it in twain and broke it.
Yeah.
She could have, in theory, done that to the altar.
You know, what I wondered is, and I'm not sure because I forgot to read up on the Stormlord, but pretty sure he's a chaotic and he's a war god and everything. And was this maybe an taken over altar of his since he controls storms? Like a
yeah, probably.
And would her have seen it triggered something?
Yeah, I hadn't considered that.
That was my thing. Was this something that maybe a perverted relic of the Stormlord that would have struck one of Ashley's chords?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was where my brain went once we knew what that altar did.
When Matt brought her back, he said she needed to go to an island.
Mm-hmm.
We have not received confirmation in dialogue that the islands they went, that either of the islands that they went to were the island that she needed to go to.
That's true.
So maybe this was something for the Stormlord. And whether or not they went there, because I think they sort of got that information potentially early. Maybe no. The location of the final temple they got early because they broke into Avantika's thing. They were already planning to go to the Diver's grave.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, unless Ashley is given information and brings it up when she comes back, I don't think we will know.
Yeah, and she's not trained in Arcana anyway, I don't think.
Right.
So, yeah. The other mechanics thing that I wanted to touch on in that encounter, the save or die mechanic that Matt used.
Right.
You fail to save, you're afraid. If she targets you, you make another save, 0 hit points. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Was Caleb the right choice, though? I mean, from Desheila's point of view, he's obviously a magic user.
Right.
He's messing around near her.
I think it's
tablet.
more than messing around,
But arguably, the more dangerous one to her is Yasha.
Yeah.
But I think if Matt had used that on Yasha, and Yasha dropped to 0 hit points immediately, I think there would have been even more.
Yeah.
I think he would have had. You can't do that when she's not here, Matt. Kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Although it ended up, Yasha didn't end up doing a whole lot of damage that fight.
Yeah.
She healed Caleb. She pulled Caduceus out of the kelp.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Pretty much, yeah.
I was kind of amazed. She did great with the marrow. She killed 2 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Deshila, she didn't really do a whole lot. And the other mechanic was being immune to fear.
Yeah.
Which helps twice, as it turns out. And I loved Laura's reaction. I always wondered if there was a good thing come out of that. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it was an interesting. I liked it. Yeah, I think the favorite thing for me about the layer was the haunted house aspect and
the fear and loathing The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like playing Call of Cthulhu and going into the layer of the evil thing.
Yeah. 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 And I can see why, you would enjoy that aspect of it.
Yeah,
So Jester, I think, comes out of this episode as the episode MVP.
Okay.
Guiding Bolt on the Marrow.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual Guardians
Right.
with Deshila. Guiding Bolt again on Deshila. And the level 4 spiritual weapon.
Yeah.
That did 60 or 80
Something.
hit points of damage.
Yeah.
Now I was like, you cast Hex at a higher level. You should be. It's more D6. It is not more D6. So I might have to apologize for thinking that and thinking that Travis is doing stuff wrong. But yeah, I was like, because I thought it was a D6 per
Oh, no.
higher level, and I was like, that's like 12 D6 he didn't roll in damage. She'd be dead. But it's not like that, so we're good. But yeah, I think Jester's MVP, and even though she was looting, and arguably if they all would have started looting, that may have drawn Deshila out, and they might have been able to kill her then.
Yeah. Perhaps.
Whereas with just Jester lifting stuff and the 2 arcane fools, for lack of a better descriptor,
Yeah. We'll go with
charging her altar for her. Which, so...
Okay.
This episode is also going to go down as an episode of foreshadowing, I think, because this gets to what we've been talking about for several weeks now over this whole Ford arc.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to break the seal?
Yeah.
They might.
They very well might.
I've been fairly staunchly in the camp that they will not. But after this last episode, yeah, I think they might.
Yeah. Let's talk about the altar. So there's two ways to look at this initially. And that's who... Well, first we have to look at who instigated it. On one side, you've got Ford kind of, telling Caleb, the guy who's super curious and wanting to know about magic, it looks like something, don't you want to know what that is? On the other hand, you have Caleb telling Ford, well, this might have something to do with your patron. Don't you want to know more about your patron?
This was a classic example of the dance of leadership and power.
And I think this episode fairly well cemented Caleb as, because Ford owes Caleb.
Yes.
And I think even if there's a split, I think at this point there's a good chance that everyone will side with Caleb.
Yeah.
So I think Caleb's pretty much won it.
Especially because if anyone else is like, well, you were the first one, Caleb, to put blood on that altar. And he would have been like, yeah, but I did it because Ford asked me to.
Right. Well, and if you notice when they were leaving the cave, now Liam is someone who is in character more than any of the others.
Yeah.
I would say 90-95% of the show, he is in character with his facial expressions and things. Unless he's looking at his phone or tablet, he is in character for the most part.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
And he keeps giving these worried what the fuck looks, and he keeps glancing at Ford and then to Jester, at Ford, at Travis, and then to Laura. Okay? We've already had a conversation where Laura said, you know how you like someone and then you get to know them and you wonder if you like them? And he's pulling some Intelligence 20 mind games with her right now.
I think so. Yeah.
And I think he's setting it up to look like, okay, you guys wanted to help Ford out. He's our friend. We went, and he is unhinged.
Yeah.
And he's putting that in her mind very subtly.
Well, and I think that's because he has some inkling of what it's going to require for him.
Yeah.
To attain his goals.
Oh, he has more than an inkling.
And I think it's going to require even worse shit.
Oh, yeah. And that all but came out in the conversation between him and Ford. This is your quest. I'm following your lead. I've got my own shit to do, and I'm going to need people to back me up on that.
Which is the first time that he's said that to anyone else.
Yeah.
He's hinted at it with Bo a little bit, and he's given her pieces of his backstory so he could get something from her.
Right.
But this is the first time that Caleb has let it slip that he has a grand plan.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
So yeah, I worry for the next couple episodes. I worry they're going to release Uk'otoa. Now,
yeah,
I should preface my remark there by saying I am 60% that it won't be intentional.
Okay. So do you think they're going to use up one of the orbs to get Ford control water?
Or whatever other boon.
Whatever other boon it may be.
Yeah, I think so.
I really hope, because to me, control water once a day isn't worth it.
I think Ford will give up one of them to gain the power.
And then you've got people coming after him. You've got possibly Avantika as a Deathlock. You've got Vera, I think, will probably come after them. Possibly the Plank King.
Yeah.
You've got
Yuan T.
whoever the next chosen is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You've got a wide group of people that could be coming after them for that orb.
Yeah.
And
including Sabian.
Yeah, including Sabian.
Whether he's a chosen of Uk'otoa or an agent working to prevent Uk'otoa's release.
And possibly the blood hunters that Molly was aligned with.
Yeah.
As we talked about after the live show,
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm excited or if it's more the watching a car crash.
It's watching a car crash.
For Caleb's arc now. Because we've already talked about how he's dealing with Jester. He's got Knot in his corner.
Yeah. And Bo's turning against Ford too.
Bo
in this episode.
Yeah. Bo is gotten much closer with Caleb and has started to distance herself. Ford owes him.
Mm-hmm.
Caduceus has already expressed unease with Ford's whole mission. So he will probably back away from Ford towards Caleb. The only one I don't know, because we haven't seen Ashley enough, is Yasha. But with everyone else going that way...
Yeah, well, and I don't think... So I think the next obvious sort of alliance that we're going to get, once Ashley is back for some episodes, is Yasha and Caduceus.
Yeah, definitely. And we've talked about that.
Yeah.
About their stories being intertwined with healing the land.
We may get some of that when they get to the islands.
Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, if they compare notes and talk, that will happen in character. But from the narrative standpoint, the destruction... So an atoll is a collapsed volcano.
Yeah.
It's land that was destroyed.
Yeah.
So I think that's where Matt introduces this idea.
Okay.
Because they will get to the temple, they will see what's been done to contain Uk'otoa.
Right.
And I think that's where they will learn about how they can heal the land.
Okay.
Or I'm wrong, and that doesn't happen until they go back up north. But I think there's going to be a little bit of that.
I think they might get some foreshadowing, but I don't think it'll be spelled out.
Okay.
Real quick, while we're on the altar, I just want to make a note, and it's a tell that he's had throughout both campaigns. But Matt's face when the players do something incredibly stupid that he wasn't expecting, he just goes deadpan. His lips get super thin, and
he blinks like 2 or 3 times,
and usually says, "Okay." This time he's like, "All right, look, guys, how much hit points are you willing to sacrifice for this?" Another 9, at least 20. What the? I mean, obviously,
yeah.
And I know you had mentioned in your notes that Jester was upset with them.
Yes.
I think she freaked out at the damage. I don't think she was processing, hey guys, what you're doing is a bad idea as far as the altar. She was more like, hey guys, you're losing hit points. I don't think she saw...
No, because their losing hit points has never been a concern for Jester. She's not the healer.
Right, but the healer wasn't there, so it falls to her.
mean, you could make that argument, but I think it was, well, little column A, little column B, maybe.
Okay. I'll agree to that.
But the other thing, so I've talked many times about combat choices being role-playing choices.
Yeah.
Neither one of them cast Toll the Dead.
Doesn't that do necrotic damage?
Yes.
Okay.
They didn't use it on the Marrow. They both used Sacred Flame on the Marrow.
That's true.
They didn't use it on Dashila. She's not undead.
Yeah.
But even undead aren't necessarily resistant to necrotic.
That's true. I think it goes back to that old trope, and they were just at the ready for radiant damage rather than necrotic.
Yeah.
Because in most past editions, necrotic would heal undead.
Yeah.
And I think they were expecting undead.
That's true. But it was interesting that neither one of them at no point cast Toll the Dead.
Right. Whereas
if Jester would have done Toll the Dead, the Sheila might have died.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah. Although so Jester and Caduceus have had this rivalry, sort of a thing where she doesn't want to be the healer, but she also doesn't want to be outshone.
Yeah. Okay.
By Caduceus. And when they were casting Sacred Flame on the Kelp, Caduceus actually destroyed his portion, and she didn't, and she got upset.
Yeah. Is it really a rivalry when it's all one-sided?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just because someone doesn't recognize someone else as their rival doesn't mean it's not.
That's true. Okay, fair point.
Look at Edison and
Tesla.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So they get to the surface, they get to the ships.
Right.
Ford tells Orly, go to the atoll. And Sam was like, I thought we were going to the... And Matt said, you're not there.
Yeah.
And I went... Ooh. And everyone at the table also went, what? And multiple of them made the comment, we thought you were just mad with power. And I think that's not untrue.
Okay.
I think that reaction is genuine, and we can look forward to more of it.
Okay.
And it's going to be an interesting day.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Last few minutes.
Okay.
Expectations for next episode. Because I think we can talk a lot, potentially, about our guest star and her character. So I want to carve out a little bit more time maybe than normal.
Okay. For next episode.
Announced guest star, Deborah Ann Wall.
Yes.
Of Daredevil.
Yes.
Fame, most recently.
Karen Page.
Yes. And she ran a game at the Stream of Many Eyes, and it was really good.
Yes.
And she's done Force Grey with Matt. So, do you have any thoughts on what she might be bringing in? Because I have a few.
You know, I don't. Okay, not that I don't, but not that I'm like, I think this is likely. It's more like what I want to see.
Okay, so what do you want to see?
So we've had a recovered cultist of Tiamat. I would like to see her playing the other Chosen. Either a Vugatoa or one of the others.
Well, that gets back to my desire of guest stars to come on and fuck them over the way Archon did. Because, like, we've talked about the PC glow
Yeah.
that players come to the table with.
Yeah.
And one of my most enjoyed guest star podcasts that I ever enjoyed was when the guest star turned out to be the villain.
Yeah. I'd kind of like to see that. I think she would do really good in that kind of a role.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to go with the trope. Oh, they've been on a boat, so I'll be a sailor. You know, there's going to be people in sailing towns that aren't sailors.
True.
There's going to be people on boats that don't have the sailor background.
Yeah. We'll look at the Mighty Nine.
Yeah, exactly. Or even Orly, the fan-made character.
Yeah.
You know, and he's introduced as someone who goes on boats and a navigator.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, like I'd like to see her just play something out of the ordinary, something to rival someone. You know, whether it be Ford for his arc.
Okay.
Or, you know, a third cleric. No,
So
I don't think that'll happen, but...
So I know she likes to play meatheads.
Yeah.
She likes to play smash it up, get in your face characters. Her character from Force Grey is that.
Mm-hmm.
And
she had a character on Stream of Many Eyes that was like that.
Yeah.
When she played it.
Oh, that's the same character from Force Grey.
Okay.
So, and she was messing with. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but when he was playing the Minotaur. But yeah, so she likes playing that, but I just have a feeling that she's not going to.
Right.
My top 3 picks
Okay.
are Swashbuckler,
Mm-hmm.
a monk,
Okay.
and maybe a fighter at the outside. Maybe like an Eldritch Knight.
Okay.
But the Swashbuckler fits in the area that they're in.
Right.
And it gives her the potential to be in your face. It will play into her preferred play style without being the same kind of character.
Right.
Because that's one of the things I love about the Swashbuckler. Is you can be a rogue and be in there and just in and out.
And I'm telling you, I'm still tempted to take some levels with my Drunken Master monk and get Swashbuckler Drunken Master.
That's a dangerous combo.
A great combo, I think it would be.
Yeah. But the other thing, the reason why I say monk, and I think I'm leaning more heavily towards that, even than Swashbuckler. Monk does the same thing that Swashbuckler does for her playstyle. It's melee, in your face.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a foil for Beauregard.
Yeah.
And we've already had established that the Cobalt Soul have been involved in the Lucidian Ocean politics.
Yes. Yeah.
And the fact that she dropped that she was an expositor with them, played with the Plank King. So I think, in a narrative sense, they pull into this supply port. This Cobalt Soul sees that Cobalt Soul monk coming off the boat. They see each other.
And, okay, so you
I
say
mean, that throws out the stabbing him in the back. But
you say that, and I'm reminded of back when they were in not Nicotronus, where the library was. Anyway, back there. I'm totally drawing a blank.
Yeah.
When she went to the library with Caleb, when she took him, and at the time I was like, oh, she's throwing out a name because she's supposed to have been, she said, where's Thida? They went south on a mission. They're out on a mission. They went south. I'm pretty sure, I'd have to rewatch the episode, but I know they went on a mission, and I'm pretty sure it was mentioned that they went south. Not just south from that city. Could have still been in the Empire. But if she is, Matt could just take that offhand comment and tie it all back in.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So, yeah, maybe she's the monk.
Maybe Bo already knows her.
Well, Matt's been saying that this has been 3 years in the making.
Right.
Yeah, I could see that she already, they have been talking, and this character has been made for some time.
Yeah.
And I could see that.
So, but yeah, I remember.
Although my memory is that she was asking about the woman that they met prior, that was her mentor. Although she went north.
No. This was before. She asked about that later. This was at the very front door.
Okay.
The person who normally is guarding was off on a mission. Because when she went...
Oh, that's right. Okay.
There was someone new there.
So, yeah. Okay, I think...
Yeah. The doorman...
Yeah.
Was gone on a mission.
So, yeah, that's... I think I'm 90% certain now that she's going to be a monk, and that's who she's going to be.
Okay.
But I'd
still want her to play a warlock. You can do an in-your-face warlock.
True. In theory, Ford's playing one.
You can even do a meathead warlock.
Well, yeah, I had that half ogre.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they'll get to that port. They'll start doing repairs on the ship, and whether through her character or just passersby or whatever, we're going to get news from Nicodranas.
Okay.
Possibly the Empire.
Okay.
But I think the Empire kids especially will want to get news from what's going on up there.
Yeah, and especially Caleb.
Yeah.
He's been itching to go back for a while now.
Yeah. But I also think in light of them basically helping the Sheila summon another storm, getting news of how Nicodranas is struggling with the Myriad missing. Might help Matt push them in the direction of, hey, don't mess around with these powers and don't release them.
Yeah.
Don't loosen the bindings.
Do they go to the Myriad to try and find a way for Ford to find a way to get power without releasing him?
I mean, they could.
Do they even remember the Myriad?
They would have to go to the plane of water. And I mean, we know where the nearest entry is.
Yeah.
And we've wanted them to go there for a long time.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening.
Okay.
I don't see them going to the plane of water until they have plane shift.
Okay. Which is going to be 9th level is when they'll have access to it, right? So 7th level is...
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 6th.
I think 10th level.
Well, 9th level would be where you get a new spell level.
Alright, yeah.
9th or 11th.
I think it's 11th level. Because 9th, I think, is 6th level.
Yeah.
Going off of memory. But anyway, yes. I don't think that because they will want a way to come back.
Yeah. Okay.
So, if they can just pop in and call in the favor and then jet, that's how they're going to want to do it. Rather than we've got to spend a month getting to the water Ashari, then we cross into the plane of water, have to avoid the Kraken, then we can go to wherever we want to go.
Right.
And who knows how long it's going to take to get there. And then they got to get back. And I don't see it happening until they have plane shift.
Okay.
But I'm also holding out hope we finally see the Kuatoa. And I think this would be the perfect moment, especially after whatever news they get from Nicodranas.
Mm-hmm.
Makes Jester sort of homesick and think about the Traveler and her mother and whatnot. They confront the Kuatoa, who can actually make their made-up gods manifest and have power.
Mm.
I think that plays into the foreshadowing of the solstice gathering.
Okay.
That the Traveler's planning.
Yeah. I want to say we're going to get to those islands because they could really quick get in and out of that port in half an hour, even if they do shopping. Yeah.
So narratively, I expect them to be on the way to the atoll before the break.
Okay.
Depending on what they do there, they may leave by the end of the episode, but my feeling is the episode will end on a cliffhanger there.
Okay.
Maybe. And then the next week we'll pick up and finish.
Mm.
And then we'll head back to Nicodranas.
Okay.
Finish up Nicodranas and then head back to the Empire. So by episode 50, we'll be back in the Empire.
Okay. When do you think they get their next level? After the atoll?
No. No, I don't think they get their level until they're back in the Empire.
Okay.
Because 7th was only 2 episodes ago.
Oh, that's true. It just seems like they've done a lot, you know?
Yeah, true.
And 7 to 8 is a lot quicker than 6 to 7.
Yeah, that's true.
Like that 5th and 6th and 6th and 7th are the ones that seem to take the longest.
Yeah. Well, and oddly, if you take the Adventuring Day XP that they say that you should be doing for each level and divide it into the XP you need to get each new level, most of the levels are 1 to 3 days. In actuality, it's never worked that way. Most people do not actually go through that Adventuring Day XP.
Yeah.
Because even at level 1, the Adventuring Day XP is like 300 XP or something, which
puts you at level 2.
Yes, but also, if you put that much XP against your first level characters, they're gonna die in one day, like one long rest.
Yeah.
They've only got one they got one hit die, so it doesn't matter how many short rests they take. It's one hit die. So, yeah. But it's Liam and Taliesin tonight on Talks. So we are going to go enjoy that.
Yep.
And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.